April 2024 will be the biggest and most important month this year, guys. Look at this. Everything is merged together here. All the planets are very close together. Lots of new beginnings. Solar eclipse of the century is happening there. Powerful solar eclipse, which means new beginning solar eclipse, which means there is earthquake in your soul at certain level, because there are earthquakes as well on Earth. And this earthquake changes and gives you a new initiative, new direction in life, new identity areas. These are my longest horoscopes this year. I'm not gonna do such long horoscope, but this is such an important month. A new beginning, another new beginning. Saturn conjunct Mars, new cycle starts, which means you're gonna have for the next 2 years new tasks, the great work that you have to do, where you have to build perseverance, where you have to put a lot of your efforts. Where is that going to be? And you might have a master finished work within 2 years, but big challenges there as well. And the biggest event of the year, Jupiter conjunct Uranus. It will never happen again. Jupiter to conjunct Uranus in Taurus in your life. It will repeat in 84 years, once in a lifetime opportunity. I can't tell you how excited I am. New cycle. Well, will your source of abundance and opportunities come to you over the next 14 years? If you catch this message, if you understand it, you can have an opportunity for the next 14 years to be abundant. So we'll speak about each of the 12 signs. But before I start, I want to tell you that this is my birthday month, April. If I'm still alive after April, with all the eclipses and new beginnings, I want to make you a gift. All my courses will be 30, 40%, sometimes even more off. I do this only once per year for 2 weeks. This is the time. All my courses, personal courses, if you want to learn astrology over 1,000 hours, they're short courses, long courses, I'll put them. You can buy them now. I hope you enjoy this. And we still have a few places for the retreat with me in Bulgaria at the end of May. We have 3 places, I think, so quickly write to me if you're interested to organize everything quickly for you. This is the most personal retreat I ever do, because I'll be looking at all of your horoscopes individually. It's very private and it's very personal. It's a small group only. So thank you so much. Let's start. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Sagittarius, the month starts on the 8th of April with an eclipse there. In Aries, in your 5th house, this eclipse carries a lot of new energy because it's in a sign of new beginnings, Aries, new impulse. It's a new moon eclipse, which is about new beginnings, sun and moon together. And it's with the North Node, which is again of some new impulse coming. And happening in your 5th house, this can be some creative idea. It can be some download that you have. This is our creativity, our ability to co-create together with the divine. So it can be a talent that you discover over the next 1 year and that you start unfolding. It can be a bright idea, business idea, or it can even be another type of creation, like a child. You can activate the topic of children in your life in a very fated way. Usually eclipses can bring something in your life for 9 to 18 years, and children stay with us usually till the age of 18. That's a cycle of an eclipse, 18 years. Also, the 5th house is connected to romance. There can be some fated events connected to your romantic partner. Of course, there can be some crisis there in your romantic life. Eclipses is the hiding of the light for a little bit, so you might be unclear, some shakeups, moving of layers in your life connected to children, some new phase in the life of your children, some new phase in your romantic life. But it can also bring a new romance that is kind of a bit fated. That's how it feels, and it usually develops fast because this eclipse in particular is with the North Node, so it can be someone new. But Mercury is also retrograde in your 5th house and is the ruler of the 7th house. So there is also some discussions or clarifying conversations with partners that are possible, business partners or clients, or with your partner about how to change your romantic life, for example, how to having some clarifying conversations with partners of any sorts. Also, Mercury retrograde there can indicate, yes, something new is being born with this eclipse. in the creative ideas and so on. But Mercury retrograde can also mean that you're completing something, ending, or reevaluating something connected to your fifth house, you know, to your creative outputs, to your business if you have business, because business is like your own baby if it's your own business, of course, with your own personal ideas. And Venus is also in your fifth house, the planet of love. So there is very interesting combination here. For single people, it can activate something important. For creatives, it can be powerful downloads of new ideas. For people with children, can be a new phase in their relationship with children, in their life with their children, something big and important happening there. Um, and also the fifth house is leisure, hobbies, how you feel connected to the universe, how you feel joy from life. Usually it's by doing things we're passionate about. Do you like riding horses? Do you like exercising? Do you like, I don't know, knitting, going for walks in nature? Well, this is first, Mercury retrograde can help you reevaluate the ways you have fun. And this eclipse can help you really change it, discover new such passions, new such hobbies, new things that make you feel alive and connected. So this eclipse is awakening your juices, so to speak, your life juices, to feel more alive overall. All right, the other next big event that is happening is that Saturn and Mars will be joining and starting a new cycle in your fourth house. They're conjunct on the 10th of April. But so, yes, around that time, you can feel some stresses emotionally, psychologically. You can feel some challenges from your parents, from with your family at home. There can be some difficulties or obstacles you have to resolve connected to land, property, real estate, fixing something at home, or overall the situation with family members, with close people in your life. But also, this is not just on April the 10th. It starts a two-year cycle till the next time Saturn and Mars meet. I think that it will be in Aries after that. That it's telling you have to work hard on this area of your life, consciously, deliberately. It's not gonna happen by magic. You would have to put effort, willpower, Mars. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to sacrifice. Saturn is this energy of saying no or sacrificing something, the immediate for the long term. In regards to matters connected to family, maybe you can start a new project of building a house or renovating something in your house or changing something in your living space. Maybe you're taking on new parental responsibilities, or maybe you take on land to start gardening. These are all under the house, the fourth house energy, and it's gonna be hard. Saturn Mars doesn't promise that it will flow all the time, but it promises that if you use and unfold the virtues of Saturn and Mars when it comes to your fourth house is also emotional well-being, so it can be a 2-year process of understanding your roots, your childhood, like a psychological work, like a psychological elimination of negative influences from childhood and canceling programs. Saturn is the energy of canceling. Mars is very cutting and sharp. So maybe it's time to get ruthless and cancel programs that are connecting you to the ancestors, or let's say that are connecting you to the wrong patterns of the ancestors and the early family environment. You might have to show some tough loving to some members in your family, to parents and so on, especially if they're taking advantage of you, or if there is no boundaries there, if there is like victimhood roles. And because Neptune has been in your fourth house for the last 14 years almost, and Neptune is very allowing, maybe a bit ambiguous or confused, and this is your foundation. This is your emotional foundation, how emotionally stable you are. Saturn and Mars wants to make you harder. I'm not saying heartless, but kind of tougher. And maybe you've been allowing family members or your emotions as well overall to fluctuate, or even your family situation where you live to be a bit ambiguous and clear. Now, Saturn and Mars can help you build stronger foundations for the next 2 years, emotionally, psychologically, where you live, to solidify it, to organize your affairs of the home and of your private life in order, and even to be a bit more like no longer wasting time giving excuses, which is more Neptunian in nature. Any matters connected to your emotional well-being, to your psychological, to your childhood, to your mental health as well. It's one of the houses of mental health. And you're doing some hard work there, or you're also doing hard work in as I said, in property with real estate, but the results can be extremely satisfying at the end because you've done this with your own efforts. Saturn and Mars never give anything, serve it to you on a platter. It's always through your own personal efforts, willpower. And Saturn and Mars here will promise if you use those qualities and those virtues of Saturn and Mars, you can have amazing results. You can, create stable foundations, home, property, or some of you might be starting a journey of parenting, and you have to be a bit more controlled, organized there. You have to be a bit more sacrificing as well, Saturn, from the immediate pleasures for the long-term results. All right. And then the last and probably the most pleasant of all is that Jupiter, the planet that rules you, is meeting with Uranus on the 20th of April. But the whole month and into May, you might feel this spark, this inspiration, because your planet, you're Jupiter, and it's so close to Uranus, this sense of awakening, the sense of that your intuition is much stronger, that you're understanding things faster, that you're having eureka moments, realizations, seeing things from a higher perspective, and kind of things really fitting into the puzzle. And that's for all areas of your life because Jupiter rules you. There can be even some surprises for you, Sagittarius, because Uranus, the planet of surprises, sudden reversals, changes, exciting knowledge that pours into you, exciting new directions is there for you. But it's happening in your sixth house. So the focus of this, it's the sixth house is the house of, actually one of the houses of working hard, having to pay bills, having to do your responsibilities, more mundane things. And Uranus and Jupiter is energy of liberation. So there can be an impulse or an idea that comes to you that can liberate you in the long term from the more routine way of life, from the way of life that makes you a bit more enslaved in a sense with routines, with 9 to 5 work. And actually it's only starting now. Maybe this year you'll feel it because Jupiter and Uranus have been close together since February, March, April, the most intense, May into June even. But maybe some ideas are coming into you which you'll be able to implement over the next 14 years because the cycle lasts 14 years. So it might not be immediately noticeable on the 20th of April. You're freed from responsibilities. You're freed from an oppressive job. You're freed from a job that is not authentic. It can happen already from April. This is a liberation from some responsibility, some debt that you've paid off and you're freed. And you're starting on a new path of service now, which can mean like, for some of you can be surprise, change of direction for your work, of employment. And with Jupiter, with the eclipse in the fifth house, new ideas are coming to you. Ideas that are to shine your true talents, genius of the fifth house. But with Jupiter and Uranus in the sixth house, you can actually monetize that because it's one of the material houses and put it into practical way of serving others, which is the sixth house. And this can be a source of income and growth for 14 years ahead or even longer, So maybe a new project as a career or a new opportunity can come there that will give you more freedom, not the 9 to 5, maybe more like being more what's that called? Like self-employed or independent in some way. This energy of freedom there in the sixth house of service of work that is coming to you. Sixth house is also your employees. You might find some brilliant employees now, very knowledgeable, full of ideas, innovative. or some method of doing things. Maybe you already have a business, maybe you already have a way of something that is very authentic to you, and it doesn't have to start like a new job or service that is more authentic because you already have one such. Well, then Jupiter and Uranus can help this business or this work really grow rapidly, explode, viral. If you're in your authentic energy of service to others, in your authentic work, this can be like a sudden raising, sudden source of opportunities there, growth, maybe bigger office, bigger company, who knows, expansion of more employees. Sixth house is also your health habits, and Uranus and Jupiter conjunction there can make you a quick breakthrough into new routines, into new way, and you'd be enjoying it. Jupiter, you'd feel like suddenly you can break away from old habits. Sixth house is also addictions of any sorts, anything that puts you in a routine, in a rut, addictions or self medication of any sort, or any foods, and what we eat, nutrition. Jupiter and Uranus there brings you great knowledge. It's a combination of divine wisdom and angelic wisdom. Uranus rules the even higher knowledge than Jupiter. Jupiter is high knowledge from the astral world. Uranus is knowledge from the divine worlds above. So it's like a download. You can suddenly discover a new workout or exercise program or lifestyle, like nutrition or diet, but it's for long term, that you feel so aligned, that's so much more truthful to you, that feels more authentic. It's like suddenly you can stop smoking, or suddenly you can quit. You can realize that you can get maybe a diagnosis from a doctor or more alternative healer, or maybe intuitively you can reach that you're missing certain element, or that if you add these foods or remove those foods from you, that this will correct in your health, the imbalances in you. So something that you might incorporate health-wise for you, or a diagnosis that you can get from a doctor. It can be like a sudden resolution to a long-standing health problem. So it can spark long-term interest for many years into health, into nutrition, into well-being, mind, body. Sixth house rules of all of those things, trying to find, this is where we have imbalances, trying to fix this. So it can even become a source of wealth for you, whether it's exercise, whether it's business connected to nutrition, whether it's business connected to anything, the sixth house, giving service to others, but especially health-wise connected. It can become viral, fast, big growth for many years. For me, I also had Jupiter-Uranus conjunction when I started my business, and it's still going, and it's been growing for 13, 14 years. So for you, this is, and sixth house is also debt. Jupiter and Uranus is liberating. For some of you, it can mean that you're liberated of some kind of debt, that you're able to more faster and very wisely, smartly, this combination of a lot of smartness there, a lot of almost like divine download, how to deal with a health issue, first of all, how to solve a health issue. You might get a solution to health issue you've been looking for a long time, or also a solution to how to deal with a debt that you have, debt, to be free from it, or to be free from a health problem, Jupiter Uranus in the sixth, and to be very excited and passionate about a new healthy lifestyle, for example. Sixth house can be some situation of indebtedness where you have to do service, but Jupiter Uranus now can liberate you from such a situation. Some burden you've been carrying is also sixth house. It's again, that has this cutting influence, that you're free and you're not bound to this, whether it's illness, whether it's debt, to someone, to something, or work situation that you've paid off your karma there through this work, and you can move on to more free, more authentic ways of self-expression through the sixth house. What else is the sixth house? Can't think for now, but yeah, I hope that summarizes it for you. See, there's a strong focus on the fifth house. We talked about the hard work comes in the fourth house. So you're kind of doing some, in April, some sweeping of emotional, weeding out weeds from emotional things from the childhood, putting order in your home and house. This is where the hard work is. This is where the inspiration and downloads are, solutions in the sixth house with Jupiter and Uranus. And this is where big shifts are in the fifth house. So thank you, Sagittarius.